TKR Sports presents the New Jersey Group 2 State High School Football Championship between the 9-1 Glen Rock Panthers and the 10-0 Mahwah Thunderbirds. Today's game is brought to you by Ramapo Tire, your complete car care center, located on Franklin Turnpike in Mahwah, New Jersey. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mahwah High School. I'm Bill Rogan, along with Frank LeBono, and Frank, a perfect way for two classy football programs to end their season, playing for a championship.
Classy, the key word here, and it all starts at the top. The coaches of these two fine football teams. You've got Art Christensen at Glen Rock. He's in his 11th year, and you've got the irrepressible Ed Caporale at Mahwah, 25 years. He's a fixture here. You know, a lot of interesting asides there. Christensen teaches at Mahwah High School, yet coaches at Glen Rock. It's going to be a lot of fun, and these two teams, they know each other. The coaches know each other. I don't know if they necessarily like each other. I don't know if that can be a true statement, at least not right now. But after the game, when it's done, you'll be sure that they'll be shaking hands and having a lot of fun with it.
Two things really stand out when you look at this game. First of all, the high-octane offense of Glen Rock. The Panthers have scored 303 points this season.
Yeah, the most in Bergen County. They had a stretch in mid-season where they scored 40 or more points in 4 consecutive games. Then they had an off game and they only scored 28, and then they scored 40 again. They can really put up the numbers.
In high school, too, you don't usually see that many points scored. On the other hand, Mahwah's defense is very stingy.
Well, stingy is an understatement here. They had 5 shutouts this year. They only gave up 5 touchdowns all year long, and one of them was on a kickoff return. You can't ask for more than that out of your defense. I'm going to the cliches early, folks. It's the irresistible force against the immovable object.
As far as Mahwah goes, besides playing at home and having that advantage, they have a distinct size advantage over Glen Rock.
Yeah, they're very big in the lines, in the offense and defensive lines. And the biggest of the big is number 72, Dexter Richardson, at 6'1", 250 pounds, an all-county performer. He runs a 4.9 40-yard dash. Needless to say, he's a Division I prospect. He's been double-teamed all year long, and yet is still incredibly effective. Glen Rock will have to find a way to contain him today.
Mahwah has several players over 200 pounds. Glen Rock doesn't have a single player 200 pounds or more. How does Glen Rock try to combat that size disadvantage?
Well, they counter it with a special kind of offense. It's called the Delaware Wing T. There's a lot of motion in the backfield, and the offensive line has to move quite a bit. They have to be good athletes, so they tend to be not as large, but sometimes a little bit quicker. And as I said, also it has to be manned by good athletes. Their best athlete on the offensive line is Kevin Gorman, the center, who's an all-county performer. Now, he won't necessarily lock up head-to-head with Richardson because one's a center, the other defensive tackle, but because of the style of offense, he'll be moving around a lot, and sooner or later they're going to crack heads.
That's true. What type of game now do you figure you will see here today? You have the high-powered offense of Glen Rock, the great defense from Mahwah. What do you see?
Well, you know, those two things are going to tend to neutralize each other. Glen Rock's great offense and Mahwah's great defense. They're going to be around their average, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. So you have to look on the other side of the coin. Can the Mahwah offense perform effectively against the Glen Rock defense, and can the Glen Rock defense hold Mahwah from scoring? Caporale earlier in the week told me that he felt he would need to score 3 touchdowns today to win the ball game. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. It's a perfect day for football. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this.
Hi.
Frank, you played high school football in Bergen County for Fort Lee. What's going through the minds of these young men out here today, getting set for this championship game?
Well, it's a good-sized crowd here, and that's always important, and it's always important for seniors in their last ball game. And that's how the grass grows here at Mahwah. And you got a good look at the field here. It's in excellent shape. It's a wee bit soft, Billy, because it was very cold last night. And when that happens, the field tends to freeze. And then with the strong sun today, it tends to defrost. So to get back to your original question, now that I beat around the bush in my usual style, right now you're fighting the nerves a little bit before the kickoff. You want to get that one good pop in there, Billy. Then you start to relax a little bit, and then you want to give your best effort, your maximum effort, especially if you're a senior. There is no tomorrow.
I like that cliche. That's a good one. Speaking of the field, it is in excellent condition. It's quite warm today. We expected cooler temperatures, but I'd say it's about 50, 55 degrees and good sunshine, clear skies. The sun may be a factor, but I don't think the weather will be too much of a factor in this ball game. Right now, the captains of each team meeting at the center of the field. The referee today is Bob Lynch. Our umpire is Ted D'Alessio. The head linesman, Joe Mirabella.
Give it a little bit more just to get the air out of them. So in case, like,
Our field judge, Mike Corcoran. The back judge, Larry Shankapur. And the timekeeper is Sam Hagen. Number 70 there for Mahwah is Tom Creighton. Dexter Richardson, 72. And there's Mahwah, or check that, there's Glenrock in the red and white. Kevin Gorman is one captain, as well as Sean Oakes, he's number 40. One of their fine running backs. We'll see a lot of him today.
Yeah, over 1,100 yards on the season. He is their first 1,000-yard rusher in the history of their school.
And Mahwah has won the toss. Mahwah will receive. Glenrock will kick off. Today's game is being brought to you by Ramapo Tire for all your car care needs, located on Franklin Turnpike in Mahwah. The Thunderbirds, 10-0 on the season, wearing their black uniforms with blue and white trim.
You know, last year they had a disappointing season, their first losing season in 16 years when they went 4-5. They have bounced back with a vengeance. They have one of the finest football programs in Bergen County. They have won 3 state championships outright under their head coach, Ed Caporelli, and I called him irrepressible. And I think, Willie, you'll agree with me that that's a real apt term for Coach Caporelli.
He isn't the lowest keyed guy. Very excitable. We're set to start. David Foyer, number 25, will kick off for Glenrock. Deep for the Thunderbirds, Alex Bosang and Scott Christopher. Bosang is 22, Christopher is 39.
Good in their backfield, as a matter of fact, and large. There's Mahwah's perfect record, Billy, at 10-0.
2 close games in the semifinals. They squeaked by Riverdale 14-7.
Yeah, but you expect that later in the season because your opponents tend to get a little bit tougher. But look at all those goose eggs on the right side, and it's Glenrock's record. They come in at 9-1. The only blemish there, the 6-0 loss to Pompton Lakes.
And we're underway. Bosang has it at his 10, fumbles around with it. Now he goes down. At the 17-yard line is where Mahwah will start. Smart move that time by Bosang, not trying to keep picking it up after he fumbled it initially. Mahwah's offense, the tackles are Creighton and Richardson. The guards, Nadell and Brophy. Suadol is in the middle. The tight end is Martell. We'll set the rest of the offense after this play. The quarterback is Tom Caporelli. The backs, Leinhart and Bosang. Michinilli is the flanker. Caporelli gives it into the middle right away. Nowhere goes Leinhart. Perhaps a yard or two. Glenrock defense. The backers, Leonard, Murphy, and Oakes. The secondary, O'Sullivan, Hanley, Olson, and Brody. Up front for Glenrock, we have Gorman, Referente, Libyan, and Bonanno. Second down, about 8. Here's Bosang, left side. He's nailed that time by Murphy. Loss on the play of about 2 yards. Will bring third down and long. And Frank, passing is not the strong suit of the Mahwah offense.
No, it isn't. So you'll see Glenrock play a lot of 7- and 8-man fronts, challenging Mahwah to throw the football. You know, I talked to Ed Caporelli earlier in the week, and he thought the key to this Glenrock defense is the middle linebacker who just made that last play, Mark Murphy, a 5'11", 190-pound senior. Quick, strong, and aggressive. Can't ask for more than that in a linebacker.
Third down and 11. Michinilli in motion. Caporelli rolls out to the near side, and he is tackled and brought down by Gorman. Kevin Gorman on the play. That was strung out very well that time.
Well, that was an option play that time. Tom Caporelli, the coach's son, there you see him, number 5. The name sounds familiar. Yes, that is a father and son combination. He's had an excellent year and has scored 10 TDs on the season, and they like to use him as a rollout quarterback with run in mind, though, not run-pass option, but to tuck the ball down and actually run it like a power sweep, because he's really more suited to play tailback than quarterback.
Paul Miccinelli to punt. Low snap, and he gets it off. Mike O'Sullivan has the ball. Good yardage, and he's brought down finally by Gallagher. Or check that. He's brought down on the play by Brophy.
Good field position, though, for Glenrock.
The ball is on the 38-yard line.
Field position always very important in the ball game like this, especially early on. That's the Glenrock offense for you, Willie.
The tackles are Gallagher and Libyan. Murphy and Referente, the guards. Gorman, the center. Bonanno is the tight end. Quarterback is Jim Leonard. Sullivan and O'Sullivan, the runners. That time, Sean Oakes carries. Brought down by Miccinelli. Gain of about 1. 2nd down and 9. Glenrock offensive backfield. We have Leonard at quarterback. Oakes, the fullback. Sullivan and O'Sullivan, the halfbacks. The split end is Cinema.
You saw how strong Oakes was on that last play. Miccinelli is 210 pounds, and Oakes carried him for a short gain, but he was hitting the backfield and averted a loss with good leg strength.
O'Sullivan coming in motion. Oakes gets the ball up the middle. That time, Dexter Richardson on the tackle. Early first quarter, no score. Glenrock against Mahwah.
You saw the all-county performer, number 72, Dexter Richardson, that time. Didn't get enough of a push on Big Dexter, so there was nowhere for the back to run. Picked up short yardage.
3rd down and 7. Inside to O'Sullivan. He goes nowhere. That time on the tackle, Richardson. 6'1", 250 pounds.
Tried a quick trap play that time on Richardson, but he used his superior size and strength to make the play.
Mahwah defense up front, Miccinelli, Richardson, Creighton, and Wicker. The linebackers, Rourke, McGeechan, and Sudahole. Secondary, Bosang, Erickson, Christopher, and Caporelli. Jim Leonard is back to punt for Glenrock, the Panthers. Christopher is deep, along with Erickson.
Interesting decision by Coach Art Christensen early on here. Rather than go for it, he wants to pin Mahwah deep and let his defense play.
A high punt, bounces down around the 5-yard line. A good roll for Glenrock. Nil down at about the 7-yard line. So poor field position for Mahwah once again.
Well, that was a good move by Coach Christensen that time to try to pin Mahwah deep in its own territory. What you're looking for here is the big break early on, Willie. You get your defense to either make a sack or a tackle in the backfield, possibly cause a fumble. One way or the other, if they can hold Mahwah to 3 downs and a kick, they're sure of getting good field position again.
First and 10. Bosang gets the ball left side. He goes nowhere, hit by a host of tacklers for Glenrock. Maybe picked up 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and long.
Yeah, it was Murphy on the tackle. There's Ed Caporelli, the head coach for the Mahwah Thunderbirds. 25 years here. He is indeed a fixture, and he's done a great job. But right now, Glenrock, the Panthers are doing a lot of stunting on defense, and they're out-quicking the larger Thunderbirds.
2nd down and 8. To give to Bosang. He's tackled by Leonard on the right side. Another short gain. It'll bring 3rd down and 5.
Well, right now, there's no deception involved in what Mahwah is trying to do. They're just trying to power the football in there, which is what they've done all year long, and it's a good idea to do it today because of their superior size. But because of that, and because Glen Rock knows that, everybody in the stands knows that, what Glen Rock is doing is using a stunting defense with 7 or 8 men. If you look across the line now look at that, folks, in a 3rd and 5 situation, they're still not respecting the pass. It's going to be tough to run against that defense today.
Caporale gives the ball this time to Michinelli on the left side, and he's taken down that time by Gorman. He'll be short of the 1st down, bring up 4th down and about 3.
Punting situation. That time, Gorman did a nice job of stringing the play out and then making the tackle. Michinelli with good size, but in that play did not show outstanding quickness. What he should have done is try to set up his blocker a little bit, made the quick cut off the block, and cut against the grain. I think it probably would have been more effective if he would have done that.
Sullivan and O'Sullivan are deep for Glen Rock. Michinelli will punt.
I'm glad you said that, not me. You know I'm going to have trouble with that sooner or later, Willie.
O'Sullivan is 20. Sullivan is 22. Good snap this time. A low line drive kick. It'll bounce. Picked up by Sullivan. He goes nowhere fast. Brought down on the play by Jeff Nadell.
Pretty good kick coverage, but good field position once again for Glen Rock.
First time Glen Rock started on the 37 of Mahwah. Now they're on Mahwah's 40-yard line to start this series.
Yeah, you have to take advantages of opportunities like this, though, Billy, especially early on in the game, because you want to get that nervousness out, and you want to take advantage of the other team's nervousness if you can.
Jim Leonard calling signals for the Panthers. Here's Sullivan. Good yardage on the right side. Close to a 1st down. He may have it. I believe he does. Brought down that time by number 52, Brian Sudahole.
Good job on the lead block that time by Sean Oakes. There, you take a look at the scoring graphic. Glen Rock, 303 points so far in 88, the most in Bergen County, and you see why. Good pulling guard play that time by the right guard, Jim Referente, for Glen Rock, and a good lead block by Sean Oakes.
11 yards on the carry by Greg Sullivan. 1st and 10 Panthers. In the middle to Oakes. Richardson and Caporale combined to stop him, but after a gain of 4 yards for the Panthers.
Nice cutback run that time by Oakes. Not big for a fullback at 175 pounds, but shows good quickness and good leg strength. Coach Christensen said he is a self-made player. He came out of nowhere after last year, worked hard in the offseason, became a 2nd-team All-County performer this year.
Here's Sullivan right side. Once again, that play is successful as he drives for a 1st down. McGeechan on the tackle.
Well, another great block by Sean Oakes, number 40. That time, the coach's son, Tommy Caporale, came up to force the play. They were using an inverted safety situation, try to get some run support from their safeties, and Caporale is an all-county performer, and Oakes took him out of the play and made that run go.
1st and 10 at the Mahwah 17 for the Panthers. Sullivan again right side. Good yardage as he dives forward inside the 10.
Same play again that time, Billy. Same play, and they're getting a great lead back block out of their premier running back, number 40, who's known as a runner. Sean Oakes is showing you that he's a good blocker and an unselfish player.
Erickson made the tackle, but after 9 yards, 2nd down and short. Ideal situation for Art Christensen's club. O'Sullivan, 1st down, touchdown.
They pulled the right guard and the right tackle that time, Billy, and they cleaned out the left side of the Mahwah defense. Then O'Sullivan did a great job of reading the blocks, cutting against the grain, and then running hard for 6.
Impressive scoring drive, 40 yards, but upfield in a hurry. No problems on that series for Glen Rock. David Foyer will attempt the extra point. Snap, place. The kick is good. Glen Rock leads 7-0 with a break in the action. We'll be back right after this. Action, Christopher is taking the kickoff back to the 28-yard line. 26-yard line. That's where Mahwah will start their third series of the ball game. 1st and 10 at the 26. They've yet to get a first down.
Yeah, Billy, I think they have to mix things up maybe just a little bit because Glen Rock is stuck right now in that 8-man front. As a matter of fact, if you look at it, it really looks more like a 9-man front. They're only playing 2 deep defensive backs.
Tom Caporelli keeps it, left side. Breaks a tackle from Oaks, may have got the face mask. Flag on the play.
Yeah, that was an inadvertent face mask. You saw it there, Willie, that time. Good play by Oaks, but as he reached up to try to corral the quick Caporelli, he got a piece of the face mask. And on any level, that's a penalty.
Caporelli gave him a nice stiff arm. Seems to be a lost art.
Well, you see some players that like to use it. That was pioneered by John Henry Johnson, the old Pittsburgh Steelers. Actually made that like a lethal offensive weapon, but you don't really see it all that much anymore. You know who's real good at it is the kid from Oklahoma, because he's so strong, Sanders. Oklahoma State, excuse me, Barry Sanders.
So 15-yard penalty for face masking. The ball is at the 43-yard line of Mahwah, 1st and 10. Here's Bosang up the middle. Dances his way for a couple of yards before he's tackled. Call it 2nd down and about 7.
See, there's just nowhere to go right now. It's jamming up so badly, Billy, that there's just nothing they can do with it. There's really no hole to work with. Even when there is a small hole at the point of attack, there are so many white shirts near the line of scrimmage that there's just nowhere for the running backs to go.
Neither team has attempted a pass so far in the early going. Minute and a half left in the first quarter. Glen Rock 7, Mahwah nothing. New Jersey Group 2 State Championship. I formation. Here's the pitch to Bosang. He goes down. Excellent play that time by Murphy, middle linebacker. He's a smart, heady player.
Well, that time a good lead block by Dexter Richardson, but the same thing keeps happening. They're getting 1 or 2 good blocks at the point of attack, but the problem is there are so many other white shirts around the football right now. The running back can't cut off that block and find any green acres.
An official's timeout. Right now, Mark Murphy appears to have some trouble with his helmet. The inside of his helmet, the padding is ajar. Murphy, number 50, he's a senior.
Can you imagine what the other guy feels like if his padding is ajar inside his helmet? He's putting a hat on the football, Willie.
Get your brain ajar that way. 3rd and long once again for Mahwah. Thunderbirds looking for their first down outside of a penalty. Caporelli hits Bosang, but he'll be short as Oaks drags him down about 2 yards shy of a first down. They'll bring up 4th and 2.
Well, it was a good-looking play, but it was a real nice recovery by Oaks and Brody. Brody did a good job out of his cornerback spot to come up and help on the play. What would have happened is that Oaks would have had a tough time trying to handle Bosang at 190 pounds, and he might have reached for the first down if it wasn't for Brody. So that was a good team defense that time by Glen Rock.
Michinelli will attempt his 3rd punt here, unless, of course, there's a fake. O'Sullivan and Sullivan deep. Low snap. Michinelli shanks off the side of his foot. It'll come out of bounds or toward the sideline. That's a 0-yard punt.
That's right.
Right on the line of scrimmage. So 1st down and 10, right at midfield, 50-yard line. 7-0 Glen Rock leads, and a big break for Glen Rock.
Well, good field position again so far early in the game. Glen Rock has managed to use its field position successfully.
And that's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Glen Rock 7, Mahwah nothing. We'll take the 50-yard line, 1st and 10. First play of the second quarter. There goes O'Sullivan. He goes nowhere. Well, he breaks a couple of tackles and gets about 2 yards. Finally brought down on the play that time by Bosang and Christopher.
Good hard running again, though, making something out of nothing. As I said, he's not the biggest guy in the world at about 175 pounds, but he does run hard. Nothing real fancy. These runners for Glen Rock are cut-and-go kind of runners. They're not going to do a lot of juking in the backfield. but they make the smart move, and blockers love that, Willie, because it makes the offensive line look just that much better. They get the block, they set it up well, they cut, and they go.
2nd down and 7. Here goes O'Sullivan, 1st down and more. Finally tackled that time by Erickson, but good yardage.
Quick trap up the middle right now. Glenrock using that Delaware wing T offense. A lot of movement in the offensive line. What they're trying to do is take advantage of superior athletic ability. What they do is they have heady, good athletes in the offensive line, and they make the good trap blocks and go with it.
Mahwah has taken a timeout. 1st and 10 for Glenrock at the 32-yard line of Mahwah. So with a break in the action, Glenrock leads 7-0. We'll be right back. We're back to live action. 2nd down and 8 for Glenrock. And Frank, Glenrock has rushed for 64 yards so far in this game. This year, Mahwah has allowed 75 yards of rushing or less 6 times.
You're right.
That may be a bit of a surprise.
I don't think they've played many teams that have scored 303 points, though.
Here's the pass to O'Sullivan. It's completed. He gets taken down. 1st down on the play.
Nice looking play. Good throw by Jim Leonard. A nice run by O'Sullivan that time out of the backfield. That's a nice looking play on the high school level. You don't have to fade back and throw those 60-yard bombs to have an effective passing game. What you're doing with a play like that is just loosening up that defense. It makes your running game just that much more effective.
Rourke made the tackle, but not after a 1st down for Glenrock. The Panthers have the ball at the 17-yard line. 1st and 10. Inside to O'Sullivan. Big hole, and he drives close to a 1st down. Rourke on the tackle.
Great job that time by Gorman. I'm sorry, Willie.
2nd down and short. Here's the graphic we talked about in the opening. 5 touchdowns all season long, and this may be the first time Glenrock can score that they've allowed more than 7 points, Mahwah, in one game.
In any game right now, but the blocking at the point of attack is just excellent. Kevin Gorman, the all-county center, doing a great job in the middle right now.
Here goes Sullivan. Big hole, 1st down. McGeechan and Bosang on the tackle. It'll be 1st down and goal at the 4-yard line.
I watched Gorman very closely that time, and he did a beautiful job of cutting off the middle linebacker. And you count on your middle linebacker to be able to make the tackle on a play like that.
1st and goal, 9.5 minutes to play, 2nd quarter. Glenrock trying to add to their lead. There goes Sullivan. Maybe a yard. Bosang on the tackle. 2nd down and goal at the 3.
Little slippery down at that end of the field. Well, because of the turtle backing of the field, the drainage is all towards the sideline. So we walked the field earlier, and even though it's in pretty good shape, it's a little wet down there. And that time, sometimes it's so hard to get this stuff out. That time Sullivan slipped on the turf and was not effective.
Leonard into Oaks. Richardson on the tackle. Shy of a touchdown. Yellow line there on your screen. That is the goal line. Bring down a 3rd down and about 2 for a touchdown.
Pretty good job that time by Dexter Richardson to fight off the double team and make the play. But also a good job by Oaks of making sure that he got something out of it, got some positive yardage. That's body lean, Billy. That means you're always leaning forward so that if you can't make the big play, you're certainly going to get at least something out of it.
Leonard has it. He's in trouble. And Caporale brings him down for a big loss on the play. It'll be 4th down. We'll probably see Foyer attempt a field goal. Big play by Caporale.
Well, he's an all-county performer from his safety position. That time, he made the big play. Came up to support the run, did not go for the fake, which faked out our cameraman. That was a naked bootleg situation. What you're counting on there is, rather than a phalanx of protection, is deception. And that time, Caporale was not fooled. Big play for the Thunderbirds.
Foyer will attempt a 27-yard field goal. He's 2 for 2 this season in that department. The kick is up, and the kick is good. It's through there for Foyer. 27-yard field goal. Glen Rock leads 10-0, and we'll be back right after this. We're back. After the kickoff, Mahwah will take over at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, no TV timeout, so you keep running a little short there, Willie.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get a kickoff in by the end of the game.
Yeah, okay.
Caporale calling signals. Here's Bosang up the middle. He is tackled that time by Oaks. Panthers grappling for the football, but there was no fumble.
Right now, Mahwah is still in a very packed I formation offense. Right now, what I think they have to do is they've got to stretch the defense a little bit. Even if they don't put the ball up, they don't necessarily have to throw it all over the lot. But what they do have to do is try to stretch the defense somewhat, so we may look for them to mix it up a little bit in terms of their offensive formations.
2nd down and 7 for the T-Birds. Caporale looking to pass.
Got a man wide open.
To Michinelli, flag on the play. He has the ball and yardage. There is a flag, however. 2 flags on the play. Also an injured player. Eric Olson is down for Glen Rock. Michinelli caught the pass from Caporale. But we'll see what happens with the official.
He had Michinelli open. He also had Erickson open that time, and it's going to be open because of the type of defense that Glen Rock is playing right now.
We have a holding call against Mahwah. Also, illegal use of the hands against Mahwah. So 2 penalties that time on the Thunderbirds. What looked like a nice play turns into a disastrous one. Everything going right now for Glen Rock.
Well, that was the first, would have been, I should say, Billy, the first down from scrimmage for Mahwah in the ball game. I'll tell you that. And, you know, we talked a lot about the Glen Rock offense. The Mahwah offense, not too shabby at all. They scored over 40 points in the game against Elmwood Park earlier in the year. And they've got 2 kids in their backfield who've scored 10 and 11 touchdowns, talking about Caporale and Bosang. So, you know, they can move it too. Right now, the Glen Rock defense just doing a great job.
They allowed 89 points all season, Glen Rock. But of course, coming into this ball game, everyone was looking, including us, at the fine Mahwah defense. Hasn't been that way so far today.
Well, you know, you mentioned it. We were looking at the statistics and some of the scores, and we said, hey, Frank, Glen Rock ain't too shabby on defense either, and right now they look pretty good. You got to be impressed with their middle linebacker, Mark Murphy. You know, in talking to Coach Caporale, he said the matchup between his center, Holt, and Murphy would be key in the game. He really thought so.
3rd down and 22 for the Thunderbirds. Michinelli in motion. Caporale, quarterback draw. He's met by Oaks and goes nowhere. It'll bring up 4th down and long. Mahwah will have to punt once again. What do you think of a play like that?
In that particular situation, I don't think much of it, Billy. I don't mean to second guess, but at this particular point, Glen Rock is completely disdaining any kind of pass defense. So you have to spread the defense for a play like that to be effective. And I mean that literally. You've got to get the defenders all over the field so that you can look for the gaps. Right now, Mahwah hasn't done anything for Glen Rock to respect them offensively, so you're just not going to get those kind of openings that you need to make that play effective.
Michinelli trying his 4th punt. A lot of pressure, gets off a good one this time. Here's Sullivan, gets it at his 50, drives upfield and is taken down at the 40-yard line. Bosang on the tackle. Also Linehart in on the stop. So good field position once again for the Panthers. They lead 10-0. 5 minutes, 16 seconds left in the 2nd quarter.
Field position is so important on any level of football, Billy, because it just opens up the options for you on offense. You can afford to gamble a little bit here because even if you don't make a 1st down, especially when your defense is playing well like Glen Rock says, you can always kick the ball away and still get the ball back in good field position.
Leonard looks to throw. Incomplete, intended for O'Sullivan. 2 receivers right in the same area of that pass.
Well, you'll see that sometimes, Billy, because what they're trying to do there is they're running either a little flood pattern or a pick play where one of the offensive receivers tries to get in the way of the defender and free up the other offensive receiver. Leonard, a real performer at the quarterback position. He's got 10 TDs on the year and great balance, 5 rushing TDs, 5 passing TDs.
Second down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Sullivan in motion. Ball goes inside to O'Sullivan, and he takes a pop that time from Creighton. Picks up about 4 yards. Will bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation.
That was the same play that was so effective for Glen Rock in the first half. What they do is they take their offside guard and tackle, pull them across the line of scrimmage. They hit the first people that they see, and they give the back the option to either take it wide or cut off the block and head upfield.
There's a look at Ed Caporelli, the head coach of the Mahwah Thunderbirds. He has to be concerned at this present time. Leonard to pass. Being pressured that time by Michinilli. Gets it away. Incomplete, intended for Cinema. Mahwah wanted the interception that time. Scott Christopher thought he had it, but the ball was ruled incomplete.
Well, the official was right on top of it, so nobody had a better view than he had. Good poise that time by Jim Leonard. He was under a heavy rush and put the ball up. I think he was actually trying to throw it out of bounds, to tell the honest truth. As it turned out, Christopher had fallen down, so it almost became a disaster for Mahwah. But because of the heavy rush on Leonard, he could not complete the pass.
Leonard will punt. Christopher and Erickson are deep for Mahwah. Good snap. Not the greatest looking punt, but he'll get a roll on it. Goes inside the 10-yard line. Turns out to be a very good punt. Call it 1st down at the 8-yard line.
Flag down, though, right now, Billy. It's going to go against Mahwah. Motion penalty.
I'm sure that Ed Caporelli will want Glen Rock to kick that ball over again.
Oh, no question about it, because it was such a good kick. But this does not necessarily hurt Glen Rock because of where they are on the field. And that's what I was talking about in terms of field position. The 5-yard penalty, the kid still gets to kick the ball as hard as he can. He doesn't necessarily have to aim for the so-called coffin corner. He can just put it up there as long as hard as he can and hopefully get good coverage out of his kick coverage team, his punt coverage team, I should say.
4th down and 11. Once again, Erickson and Christopher are deep. Jim Leonard, he's a quarterback, he's a linebacker, and a punter. Good pressure, gets the ball away. Christopher picks it up on a bounce. Shakes one tackler, can't shake anymore. Bonanno on the tackle. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the 14-yard line for Mahwah.
Well, they gained just about what they lost in terms of the penalty. They would have had the ball inside the 5-yard line.
3 minutes, 47 seconds left in this first half. Mahwah has 2 timeouts remaining. They have not been able to move the football on a very tough and quick Panther defense. The 10-0 Thunderbirds trying to get something started before halftime. Bosang. Not much, gets tripped up inside. On the tackle was Referente. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 7.
Mahwah still sticking to its game plan and not saying that they should shell them. They're only down 10-0, long ball game here. Fans are still into the game, as you can see. But again, the problem is, even when they get a good block at the point of attack, there are enough white shirts around to clean up where the one guy may have been taken out. So I still think that Mahwah has to look to stretch the offense somehow, either by changing formations or throwing little flood patterns into the flat.
Michinilli in motion. Caporelli rolls to the right. Gorman after him. Escapes one tackler, not the other. Leonard on the tackle, trying to strip the ball from Caporelli. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
You know, Caporelli was banged up earlier in the week. On Monday at practice, one of his offensive linemen rolled over the back of his leg, and there was some question as to how far he could really go in today's ball game. I just have to wonder, Billy, just watching him walk right there, how much that injury is really affecting him, because he just doesn't seem to be as quick as he might be.
Third down, call it 4. Caporelli to the near side, looking for Christopher. Steady hits Bosang. First down. He's tackled on the play by Hanley. First and 10 for Mahwah.
Nice little flood pattern. I think that's what you have to see Mahwah start to do more in the second half. Unfortunately for Mahwah, with time running out, you know, Glen Rock may be giving them some plays like that, but it's good to know from a momentum standpoint that they can execute a play like that. It will help them in the second half.
The Glen Rock safeties are playing very deep. Caporelli rolling out once again. He's hit and fumbles. The ball is recovered that time by Mahwah. On the recovery is Nadell. Call it second down and 16. Minute 20 left and counting. Mahwah doesn't seem to be in all that much of a hurry now, Frank.
Well, I thought Glen Rock might want to take a timeout here because they have the opportunity to either get the ball back in good field position or possibly force another turnover. But they don't seem to be taking advantage of that right now.
Exactly 1 minute to play in the first half. Caporelli looks to throw. Downfield, almost intercepted. That time tipped by Murphy.
Well, Murphy, if he was looking more for the interception, he could have picked that ball up, headed down the sidelines in glory, if you will, Willie.
Green Acres, as you would say,
yeah,
because, as you said on your Army broadcast this year.
Because he really did have the sideline, but he was just looking to play it safe and knock the ball down. But when you've got a lead and you've got the the offense pinned down deep in its own territory, you know that could be a big play in this ball game.
3rd and 16, the ball at the 26-yard line for Mahwah. 52 seconds remaining. Second quarter, Group 2 State High School Football Championship. Caporelli drops straight back, throws deep. This ball is intercepted. That time the interception by Keith Stewart. Stewart didn't start the ball game. Picks up a big interception now with 43 seconds left and 3 timeouts. There's a good chance for Mahwah to score. And check that, Glen Rock to score again. And the Panthers have taken a timeout. The ball is at the 34-yard line of Mahwah.
Well, Mahwah's passing offense right now does not look well conceived. What they're really doing at this particular moment of the game is because they have to pass. It's like they're harried a little bit, Willie, rather than it being really well conceived in terms of deception and execution. What Caporelli is doing is just fading back and really just kind of throwing the ball as long and as hard as he can. But with the 2 deep safeties that Glen Rock is employing, they're just not going to get very far very fast. It's kind of too little too late here in the first half. I thought Mahwah may have wanted to play just a little bit safer and avoid the turnover. Right now, Glen Rock, with 43 seconds and a good quarterback in Jim Leonard, has a chance of putting some more points on the ball game.
Right now, you would have to think Glen Rock, first think field goal, and then you think touchdown with 43 seconds left.
Well, I got to think in this particular situation with a 10-0 lead, they'll look to put the ball in the end zone on at least 2 occasions. They've got a good quarterback. He's thrown for 5 touchdown passes. He's a pretty good-sized kid at about 6'1", so he can stand tall back there, and his arm is certainly strong enough to reach from here to the end zone. See if it comes to pass, Willie.
Okay, Jim Leonard, play action, throws it deep, looking for O'Sullivan. Ball out of the reach of Bosang on the coverage. There you go. Throwing for the end zone.
Well, I think
Coach LeBono.
I think you'll see it again on this particular play. Then maybe on 3rd down, they may play it just a little bit safer and try to play for the first down or for field position for the field goal. It's a little too long right now for their field goal kicker. Good rush that time by the 2 defensive tackles and the real heart of this Mahwah defense. Creighton and Richardson, 2 big guys, one at 230 and the other at 250. And they were all over Jim Leonard like a cheap suit.
37 seconds left, second quarter. Once again, Leonard looks to throw. Little screen pass to Oaks. 5 yards, 6 yards on the carry. So 6-yard pass reception, 24 seconds left, and Mahwah, or check that, Glen Rock will take a timeout.
still too far out of field goal range right now, Billy, so they've got to get a first down here, I think, in order to be able to even consider a field goal. With 24 seconds left to go, I don't know, you might see this ball go into the end zone again.
The ball is at the 29-yard line of the Thunderbirds. Field goal from this distance would be approximately 46 yards. So they'll need at least 15, maybe 20 yards to get into Foyer's range.
I think with the time running out, only one timeout, you've got to remember high schools are not quite as efficient at shuttling players on and off, special teams on and off. So it's not like you have a special teams coach and this coach and that coach, completely separate units that work as a unit to get on and off. So it would be difficult, I think, for them to get the first down, call the timeout, get the team on, get everything organized in time. So we may see the ball go into the end zone again here. These cheerleaders get to wear long johns these days. They didn't when I was in high school. I like it. It's a nice innovation. I always thought they would be terribly cold.
Well, the Mahwah cheerleaders seem to be having a good time, even if the club on the field isn't doing so well at the moment.
Long ball
Third down.
Still a ways to go, yeah, Bill.
A lot of time to play. That's Sullivan in motion. There's the draw, flea flicker. Leonard is in trouble and he goes down. Michinelli on the tackle. That time the handoff to Oaks, pitched it back to Leonard. 12 seconds left and running. I'm sure that Art Christensen will be content to see the clock run out now for Glen Rock. Take the 10-0 lead into halftime.
You got to love a call like that with time running out. You know, there were so many things that could have happened. Were they going to play it safe and play for the field goal? Were they going to put it in the end zone? So it was the perfect opportunity to play a gadget play, because in the long run, it certainly didn't hurt them. Field goal was iffy at best. You know, Mahwah was playing deep and not going to let them put the ball in the end zone. So why not try a little something like that? They certainly didn't get hurt by it. As you know, even though there was the big sack, they still go up into halftime with a 10-0 lead.
The Glen Rock fans give their Panthers a standing ovation. Mahwah goes to the locker room looking to regroup. 10-0. We'll be back. We're getting set for the second half kickoff. I'm Bill Rogan along with Frank Labono. Third quarter coming up. There's the score. Glen Rock 10, Mahwah nothing. Frank, Mahwah lost the line of scrimmage battle during the first half. Their offense a little lackluster. You expect them to open things up in the second half.
Well, Billy, I think they have to open things up in half. And again, that's a term that sometimes is misused. That doesn't mean putting the ball all over the lot. What it means is mixing up formations, mixing up your plays a little bit, you know, doing things like a little halfback pass of back out of the backfield into the flat to try to spread that Glen Rock defense a little bit. They've got too many white shirts near the line of scrimmage, and Mahwah's got to do something about that in the second half.
Glen Rock will get the ball first to start this third quarter. Jim McGeechan will kick off for the Thunderbirds, who appear to be a little bit fired up following halftime. I'm sure Ed Camporelli had something to say to his team that seemed a little flat in the first half.
Well, it's their ball yard. If they can't get psyched now, as I said, there is no tomorrow, especially for these seniors, and there are a lot of them on the Thunderbird squad.
State championship on the line. Leonard, O'Sullivan, and Sullivan deep for the Panthers. High kick. Leonard will take it at his 10. 20, 25, 30. Struggling for added yardage. Richardson on the tackle, along with Erickson. So they'll start at the 30-yard line, make it the 31 of Glen Rock for the Panthers. Panthers offense up front. Libyan and Gallagher the tackles, Referente and Murphy the guards, Gorman is the center, tight end is Bonanno, Leonard the quarterback, fullback is Oaks, the halfbacks are Sullivan and O'Sullivan. Here's O'Sullivan. Gets about 2 or 3 yards. Caporelli on the stop along with Sudahole. The defense for the Mahwah Thunderbirds up front. Michinelli and Wicker the ends. Richardson and Creighton are the tackles. The linebackers are Rourke, McGeechan, and Sudahole. The secondary, Bosang, Christopher, Erickson, and Caporelli. Second down and 7. Leonard gives the ball inside to Oaks.
He gets about 4 yards, tackled by Rourke. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 2, call it 3. Glenrock really firing off the ball and good blocking once again at the point of attack. Here's the first half stats. For Mahwah, just 1 first down in the first half. Total yards, 9 rushing. We lost the graphic. We lost the graphic. Oh, well. That time, Creighton stops Oaks short of a first down. Also, Suadol on the tackle. Will bring up 4th down and 2. Mahwah's defense stands tough on their first defensive series. Glenrock first half, they had 5 first downs and 65 yards rushing, and that is a bit of a surprise. We knew they could rush the ball, but they did it fairly easily against a very stubborn defense. Well, I don't know how easy it was, but it was most certainly effective. Leonard will kick. He drops the ball. He's in trouble. Richardson after him. He throws up for grabs. Incomplete pass. And a big break that time for Mahwah. See if they can capture some of this momentum with their offense. Oh, the big play on 3rd down by Creighton, and Sudaho did a great job of stopping the Panthers short of the first down. And that time, Leonard just booted it. Looked like one of your chances at shortstop there, Billy Rogan. Thank you very much. At that time, Leonard at least was able to get an incomplete pass off. Mahwah will take over. Once again, there's Mahwah's stats there. 9 yards rushing, just 17 yards through the air. They had a turnover. That to me is a real surprising statistic, that 14 rushes for just 9 yards. Caporale, the quarterback, gives the ball to Bosang. Good hole on the left side. He's finally taken down that time on the play by Referente. It's good enough for a first down, 11 yards on the carry. Mahwah is fired up here in the second half. 10-0 Glenrock leads. Setting the Mahwah offense up front, Richardson and Creighton the tackles, Brophy and Nadell the guards, Sudaho the center, Martell is the tight end. Caporale the quarterback. The backs are Leinhart, Bosang, and Michinelli. Here's Bosang right side. Good yardage. That time stopped by Murphy. Also on the tackle, Oaks. Good yardage on first down that time. Oh, an excellent lead block by the fullback, Dennis Leinhart. He really took somebody out. But there's a sight that the Mahwah faithful do not want to see. Nobody ever wants to see, especially when it's your big all-county tackle, Dexter Richardson. Dexter Richardson is down, number 72. This will give us a chance to set the Glenrock defense. Up front, Gorman and Bonanno are the defensive ends. Referente and Libyan are the tackles. The linebackers, Leonard, Murphy, and Oaks. Murphy is the middle linebacker. The secondary, O'Sullivan and Brody at the corners. The safeties, Olson and Hanley. Dexter appears to be in a lot of pain right now. Doesn't appear to be a lower leg injury, though. He's moving his legs fairly efficiently, I guess as efficiently as you can when you're on your back. It seems to be a head or shoulder or rib injury. They're really giving attention to his upper body. This gives us a chance to mention something. At halftime and throughout the game, the people here at Mahwah have been taking up a collection for Tom Phillips, an injured Hawthorne football player who is very seriously injured, and the people are donating some money to help his cause out. And if people want to donate, they can call Hawthorne High School and find out more about it. Tom Phillips, a very sad story, and sometimes that happens in football. That's a very physical game. You know, in some ways, that's what makes it so difficult to play, and therefore so rewarding when you can play it successfully and effectively, because there always is that factor of the danger of injury. Most people who play football do get injured some way, but Phillips was an especially tragic injury. Richardson is on the sidelines. He appears to be okay, gets a nice hand. Second down and 4 for the Thunderbirds. Here's Bosang. Good yardage. He's finally brought down after a gain of 22 yards. Olson on the tackle. Bosang running the ball very well. Great blocking that time at the point of attack by Brian Sotohol. Did a real good job. He and the left guard, Nadell, did a super job. Nick Brophy also did an excellent job. You see Dexter Richardson is going to be working on his hand there, Billy, hand and forearm.
First and goal for the Thunderbirds. Ball at the 6-yard line. Straight up the middle is Bosang. He's short of a touchdown. He's down to about the 1. Pickup of 5 to bring up a second down and goal to go from the 1.
Crowd really filled up here. When we first came in, Billy, it was kind of sparse, but there's not a seat in the house right now, and they're being entertained with a great game.
Quarterback sneak, Caporelli, he's in for the score. 1-yard quarterback plunge by Tom Caporelli, making the score 10-6. And now a big extra point attempt coming up for the Mahwah Thunderbirds.
Good looking drive that time, much crisper blocking on the line of scrimmage, and a good job in the backfield by Alex Bosang, Tom Caporelli, and of course the blocking fullback, Dennis Leinhardt.
Jim McGeechan will attempt the extra point. He had 25 extra points on the season.
Second team all-county kicker, and if you talk to Tom Caporelli, the coach for Mahwah, he said he was very disappointed that his kicker didn't get first team.
Kick is up and good. So with a break in the action, the score, Glenrock 10, Mahwah 7. 10-7, Glenrock will get the ball. Here's the kick by McGeechan. It's a line drive, takes an erratic bounce. Leonard has it at his 15. To the 20, goes back a little bit and is taken down finally on the play. That time, good tackle by Erickson. There's a fumble on the play. Fumble on the play, Mahwah recovers. First down at the 10-yard line. Oh, what a critical mistake that time for Glenrock.
You know, I was preparing my rap for the Glenrock offense, and I was going to say that I thought that was going to be a very crucial series for Glenrock, because you could feel the momentum swing towards the side of the Thunderbirds, and I thought it was important that Glenrock hold on to the football a little bit, even if they didn't score, but certainly at least to take some of the momentum away from the Thunderbirds. And disaster struck, lightning struck, and did it quickly.
Bosang, he goes nowhere. Big play by Oaks. That's what Glenrock needs. They need a defensive stand right now to get a little bit of the momentum back.
You're exactly right, Billy. If they couldn't do it on offense, they most certainly have to do it here on defense. Remember, a football game is played over the course of 4 quarters, so you can't always look for things on the scoreboard. You have to look for the little things sometimes that are going to make the difference, the little things that can swing momentum back in your favor. So right now, if Glenrock can hold, it will not only help them on the scoreboard, but it'll help them emotionally for a time later in the game.
Second down from the 12-yard line. Caporelli keeps, and he is met that time instantly by Mike O'Sullivan. 2 big defensive plays in a row for the Panthers.
Oh, it hurts so much when you're deep in your opponent's territory, Billy. It's so important to get positive yardage. That's what we were talking about in the first half when Glenrock was on a drive, and Sean Oaks did a good job of making something out of nothing. You always have to inch forward on the goal line. Negative yardage will kill you in any situation, but it's particularly painful on the goal line. Why? Because you're in 4-down territory, especially on the high school level, when you're deep inside your opponent's territory. Now that takes that away from the Thunderbirds.
Third and goal at the 17. Here goes Leinhardt. He gets tripped up. A good tackle that time on the play by number 33, Sean Brody. Bring up a 4th down, and I assume we'll see a field goal attempt by McGeechan.
Well, he's one of the best kickers in the county, as we said before. Tom Caporelli thinks he is the best kicker in the county. He has 2 of the longest field goals in Bergen County so far this year. One of them a 43-yarder. So this is certainly within his range. The only problem here is a very severe angle, though.
It'll be a 29-yard attempt
for McGeechan. Caporelli is the holder. He gets it down. It's up, and it is good. 29-yard field goal. We've got a tie ball game. Glenrock 10, Mahwah 10, and there's the sideline for Mahwah. They have to be excited with what's happened here in the third quarter.
Well, it's a new ball game.
And there's still 5 minutes, 27 seconds left in the third quarter. A costly turnover by Leonard on the kickoff. It's a brand new ball game, but Mahwah has the momentum.
Well, that's what's so great about high school football sometimes. You get a kid like Jim Leonard, who's playing an absolutely great first half, comes back in the second half, and all of a sudden he's putting the ball all over the side. You just watch a kid like Leonard come back late here in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, and do something great and positive for the team. That's why it's exciting, Billy, because you just never know what's going to happen.
The ball just flew off the tee. McGeechan will have to set it up again. Setting the scoring in the first quarter, Mike O'Sullivan, 4-yard run, gave Glenrock a 7-0 lead. David Foyer's 27-yard field goal made it 10-0. Here in the third quarter, 7-yard run, and McGeechan, a 29-yard field goal for Mahwah, has tied things up. A good kick. Here's Leonard at the 10. He dropped it again, but there's a whistle. I believe there's offside on the kickoff. And we'll see what happens. Offside on Mahwah on the kickoff.
Well, Billy, that must have been a blatant offside situation because they blew the play dead. Normally in a situation like that, they'll just let the play go and then give the offensive team the option on whether or not they want to refuse the penalty or not. But not in this particular case. Everybody wants a piece of the TKR action there.
I'm Bill Rogan along with Frank LeBono. We thought we'd see a good one, and we're seeing it. New Jersey Group 2 State High School Football Championship. Mahwah 10-0, Glenrock 9-1.
So far in this half, Mahwah with 48 yards in total offense, Glenrock but 3.
McGeechan will try it again. Mike O'Sullivan. He goes down. Tough break for O'Sullivan. He caught the ball at the 21 and fell at the 23.
Good kick to return too, Billy, that time. He fielded it cleanly, and he lost his footing. Remember, we said it, particularly on the sidelines, it feels just a little bit soft. Billy, you didn't notice something here. Both of these teams, real big proponents of the black cleats. Your favorite.
That's right, I didn't notice that.
That's why he fell, Bill. I'll tell you right now.
You like the white cleats. That
made me look faster, and I could use all the help I could get.
That's true. Well, here's Sullivan. He could have used some help there as he's brought down on the play by Wicker. Bring up 2nd down and 11, loss of 1. Right now, Glenrock is doing nothing.
Well, Mahwah uses a lot of stunts on defense. Caporelli had invented that defense back in the mid-1960s, and it still takes some doing to try to figure out. He will move personnel. He will give you different looks. He'll give you different stunts on defense. Right now, they're doing it effectively.
Leonard has the ball, rolls out. He's going to keep it. Gets a nice block from Oakes. Gets a first down. Good block downfield by Sean Oakes. Leonard gets the first down. He's brought down by Creighton. 17 yards on the play.
Excuse me, Willie, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you know who really made the key block? The Oaks did do a great job of blocking downfield, but there was one key block that got Leonard to turn the corner, and that was by the guard, number 50, Mark Murphy, who did just a great job of taking out the defensive end and allowing Leonard to turn the corner.
Inside handoff to Oakes. He gets about 3, perhaps 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and a long 6.
Well, good news for Mahwah fans. I see Big Dexter Richardson back in the ball game, and he got a hand in on that tackle, along with number 53, Warren. That's a tongue twister. Warren Rourke. Excuse me there, Mr. Rourke. Too big to get him angry at you. 6'1", 190 pounds.
3 minutes, 44 seconds left, third quarter. Game tied at 10. Group 2 championship. Glenrock in the white, Mahwah in the black. Leonard straight back. Looking long, looking for Cinema. He's bumped out of bounds and a flag on the play. That time Chris Erickson on the coverage. We'll see if it's an offensive or defensive pass interference call.
I think it's going to be a defensive pass interference because that time Erickson was really not playing the football. Sometimes, Bill, you can get away with, even if you just look back and make a real feeble attempt at intercepting the football, they'll let you get away with it. That time Erickson was not looking back, and therefore he's going to get flagged with the penalty.
There's Ed Caporelli. It was a good call by the officials. There was definitely contact. As you said, Frank, Erickson wasn't playing the ball.
Remember, different rules in high school here. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's not spotted at the point of the foul. It's 15 yards from the line of scrimmage.
So 2 big plays now for Glenrock, trying to get something started here. It's been a disastrous third quarter for them so far. Leonard inside handoff to O'Sullivan. Breaks several tackles. Nice running, 15-yard pickup and a first down. Finally tackled on the play by Christopher.
Good quick feet by O'Sullivan that time, and he kept moving north and south. You know, the Glenrock backs are the type of backs that they're a threat to go at any time. And there you see why, because they don't go down with arm tackles. They run hard and they use quick feet. And another thing that is impressive, they're quick into the hole and they cut and they go.
Ball is at the Mahwah 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Sullivan in motion. Leonard looks to throw. He hits O'Sullivan. About a 5-yard pickup. McEachin on the tackle.
You know, that's a good-looking play, though, because it helps you to keep the defense honest, Billy. It's not something real fancy. You're not going to pick up a great deal of yardage on it, but what it does is it sets up the next play and the third play down the road. Very effective. Little flood pattern back into the backfield, and a good job of Leonard spotting the receiver and getting him the football.
Leonard keeps it. Left side. He hits Oaks. First down. And a little bit more. Caporelli on the coverage. Another first down for Glenrock. Their 4th first down of this drive.
Excuse me, Willie, but you know, real well-conceived offense by Glenrock. What they did that time is they showed a little bit of misdirection. They get the backs flowing in one direction. That will freeze the linebacker for just a fraction of a second. Then you slip the back out of the backfield into the opposite flat. The linebackers are just a little too slow to recover because now, because of the fake, they're out of position. It's a good-looking offense.
There's the give inside. Brought down on the play. Number 39, Mike Ferry. First time we've seen him get the ball today. Call it 3rd down and about 1. Or check it, 2nd down and about 1. Call it maybe 2. That time Ferry up the middle, good blocking.
Well, their offensive line is probably the quickest offensive line that I've seen on the high school level in recent memory, I'll tell you, Dave.
Ferry again, cuts it up, he dropped the ball. Loose ball is recovered by Mahwah. Christopher makes the recovery. A big play by Mahwah.
It's unusual that you bring a fresh kid in, talking about Ferry that time, to give him the football. It's difficult sometimes when you've been sitting on the sideline for the whole game, and you may have fresh legs, but you may not necessarily be as loose as you want to. That time he took a pretty good pop, and he coughed it up. Big break for Mahwah. Tough break for Glenrock.
Very tough break, and right now there's a Mahwah player down on the field. Tough to say who it is. Getting back to Ferry, you're right, Frank. He really hasn't gotten into the flow of the game. Just 5'7", 135 pounds, a junior.
You would think sometimes on the goal line you might want to bring in your big backs to power in there. That's a little bit unusual to see not only a fresh player, but a very small fresh player.
Warren Rourke peels himself off the ground. He appears to be okay. On the plus side of that fumble, anyway, for Glenrock, if there is a positive, they have Mahwah pinned deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 at their own 1-yard line.
Well, now you've got to rely on your defense to hold here if you're a Glenrock fan and get the ball back in good field position. Now Mahwah has to be very careful of turning the ball over because you know that Glenrock will probably gamble a little bit here, possibly even tackle the football to try to cause a turnover when the other team is backed up against their own end zone.
A minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Caporelli sneaks straight ahead, gets a little bit of breathing room. 2, maybe 3 yards. Second down.
You won't see anything too terribly fancy by Mahwah at this point because they'll play it safe in a real tough and tight ball game. But Billy, wouldn't you just love to see a little play action pass right here? See Caporelli fake to one of his backs, pull it back down, drop back to pass and throw the long one? I know you'd like it.
I'd like
don't know
to
if we'll
see
see
it. Notre Dame pulled that last week against Southern California. Same situation. They threw the bomb and it worked. It's not expected right now. Second down and 9 from the 2. Handoff inside to Bosang. Bosang is short of a first down. Out around the 9-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play. And that'll be it for the third quarter. Glen Rock 10, Mahwah 10. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Start of the fourth quarter, 12 minutes to play. Third down and 1 for Mahwah.
Big play here, Billy. This is gut check time for both teams. Who wants it most?
Hand up to Bosang. I don't believe he's got it. It will be close. They may measure. Very close.
Bosang was running hard, but that time a good play by Oaks. The linebacker came in and made the hit. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close.
Matt Libyan was also in on the tackle, as was Jim Referente, who's played a fine game inside. Did not make it. Decision time for Ed Caporelli. I think you have to punt, Frank.
Oh, you have to punt here, especially against a great offense. You can't put that much pressure on your defense. If you don't make it, expect them to hold the team that scored 303 points in a single year inside your own 10-yard line.
Looks like they're going to go for it.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
You gotta love it if he makes it for Mahwah. If he doesn't make it, I don't think Mahwah will love it so much. May try to draw him off sides. We'll see. Quarterback sneak by Caporelli. We'll probably have another measurement. I can't tell, Frank.
Well, nobody can tell right now. The crowd got awful quiet. Looks a little like an oil painting right now, Willie, I'll tell you.
And we're going to have another measurement. Oh, boy.
Caporelli trying to run behind the block of Sudahall. I don't know. Didn't really get much of a push because you could see Glen Rock was really jamming in there with their big people expecting the quarterback sneak.
He's got it. First down. Big cheer from the Mahwah side of the field. Maybe Ed Caporelli was thinking about his punting game, which was not sharp in the first half.
It's a good point, Billy. It was one, and that's one really well taken, but I tell you, that is a gutsy call. As long as it works, you hang around for 25 years, you know what I mean? And you produce state champions like Ed Caporelli.
Mahwah was state champions in 78, 79, 81, trying to make it 88. Here's Bosang. Dive play off the right side. Oaks in on the tackle, along with Leonard.
Nothing fancy right now. Not that Mahwah's done anything all that terribly fancy so far today. I tell you, it's prime, Billy, right now. Play action pass would be wide open.
Now, you covered a lot of the Army games this year. They run the wishbone, and all of a sudden they'll pop a pass on a team for a big gain because they're not expecting it.
And they're very effective when they do throw. I mean, sometimes you look and they say, well, they're last in passing efficiency. But when they do throw, it usually works for them, and that's real important.
Here's Dennis Leinhart. He gets nailed by Mike O'Sullivan. Short gain of about 1 yard. It'll bring up third down and approximately 6 yards to go for the first.
Well, this game is getting really physical, I'll tell you. We expected that in the first place and have not been disappointed. And it's getting tougher, if anything. But see, now you're in a third and long situation. You lose the element of surprise in terms of passing the football.
Some of the Glen Rock Panther supporters on the far sideline.
Yeah, they packed their side of the stands as well. Excuse me. I tell you, both teams playing hard, so the fans have not been disappointed.
High school football at its finest. 3rd and 6 for Caporelli and the Thunderbirds. Here's Bosang. He's in trouble. Breaks a tackle. Oaks after him and gets him. 4th down. I'm sure now Ed Caporelli will decide to send in the punter Paul Miccinilli.
Well, Tony Bonanno was there and couldn't necessarily make the play, but he did string it out just long enough so those white shirts got over there. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about in the first half, Bill. Right now, because Mahwah has not shown any effectiveness with throwing the football, the Glen Rock defense is completely disdaining the pass. So even if you break one tackle, you're still facing another 3 or 4 white shirts that you got to get by, and it's just too much to ask of any running back.
9 minutes, 10 seconds left. Sullivan and O'Sullivan deep. Panthers should get good field position. And it's booted out of bounds by Miccinilli. Not a very good kick, about 24 yards on the punt. Miccinilli has not had a good day punting. Good pressure that time by the Panthers, making him rush.
That time, Matt Libyan was right in the puncher's face, Miccinilli, which caused him to kick the ball off the side of his foot.
Ball is at the 35-yard line of Mahwah. Leonard is 5 of 8 throwing the ball today. Here's Ferry. He goes nowhere, out of bounds. It shows a lot of confidence in Ferry by Art Christensen, giving the ball right away to the guy who fumbled on the last series.
Well, I think that's also good coaching, because you got to remember, you got to develop some kind of an attitude in these young kids. You've got to make them realize that mistakes, i.e. fumbles, are a part of the game. But it's not the end all to be all, the be all to end all. It's a long season, it's a long game. If you want these kids to have confidence in you, then you have to have confidence in them.
Sullivan, play action. Or take that, Leonard. Goes deep for Cinema. He dives and goes off his fingertips. A flag on the play. That time the Panthers looking for a bundle.
Cinema was open. It was a good play action pass. It's going to be a hold against Glen Rock, and that's going to hurt. Cinema was really open. The only thing is it looked like he slowed down momentarily, and therefore Leonard put a little bit too much on the football, and it was incomplete. It's all going to come back anyway, so it's academic.
Rolling to the left side is a tough throw for a right-handed quarterback. Ferry is in the ball game for Greg Sullivan. I see Sullivan on the sideline. He doesn't appear to be injured.
Sullivan, I thought, had a real great first half.
Very good first half. So it'll be 2nd down and 25 for the Glen Rock Panthers.
Third penalty for Glen Rock, a total of 30 yards. And they've come at inopportune times for Glen Rock. Do they ever come at opportune times? Really, I think that's...
no, I don't think so.
That's an understatement.
Some times are more inopportune than others.
Okay. Good. Well said there, Willie Rogan.
8 minutes, 52 seconds left. Game tied at 10. New Jersey State Championship Group 2 on the line. Jim Leonard, number 12. More play action. Goes downfield. Completed to O'Sullivan. No, he dropped the ball. Excellent hit that time by Bosang. That time, Bonanno, 85, was also in the area, and he didn't even look for the ball.
And both guys were open. That time, I thought that O'Sullivan did a nice job of adjusting to the football. He got his hands on it, but then he got popped by Bosang. You know, Charlie Sanders, the old great tight end for the Detroit Lions, had a great saying for that. He used to say, hey, you're going to nail me one way or the other. I might as well come down with something and have something to show for my effort. It's a good thing to teach young guys, because you say, hey, that's a part of the game. If you're out in the secondary, you're going to get nailed. You might as well come back with the football. Why not?
O'Sullivan did get nailed. Should have had the ball. 3rd down and 25. Ferry in motion. Leonard pitches to Oakes. He's got 10 yards, 15, 17 yards on the play. They get a good chunk back, but it'll still bring up a 4th down and 8.
What do you do now here, Billy? Are you going to go for it, or are you going to kick it? What do you
think? At the 33-yard line, 33-yard line of Mahwah, I'd punt the ball. I'd try to pin them as deep as possible, and his defense has played well outside of the first 2 series of the second half. The last series, the Panther defense played pretty good.
Willie,
so I'd punt the ball. I wouldn't fool around.
But I tend to agree with you here.
Well, if you agree with me, then I'd definitely go for it.
I was going to say, which means the coach is definitely going to go for it.
8 minutes.
We sealed its fate.
8 minutes to play, and they are going to go for it. 4th down. Each play magnified. Leonard to throw. He's got his man, O'Sullivan. 1st down and more. He might go all the way. Touchdown, Glenrock. Good heavens. No flags on the play.
Great individual effort by two players, Leonard and O'Sullivan. Leonard did not lose his poise. He was running out of sideline. He was running out of time. He looked back, and O'Sullivan did a great job of adjusting his position on the field to get open. Then he made the catch and did a great job of broken field running. Beautiful job of stiff arming in the secondary and showed excellent speed to the corner. What a good-looking play.
Mike O'Sullivan, a senior, 6'1", 170. David Boyer will attempt the extra point. Boyer has an extra point and a field goal to his credit this afternoon.
Big extra point coming up here.
Very big. Good snap. The hold is there, and the kick is good. 17-10 in favor of Glenrock here in the fourth quarter. And the Panther fans are going wild.
Well, that was a good-looking play. I'll tell you, great effort, as I said, by a bunch of players, in particular Jim Leonard, the quarterback, and Mike O'Sullivan, the wingback. As I said, Leonard did not lose his poise. He's a great athlete, plays virtually every down, all the specials. And as I said, he was running out of time, he was running out of room, but he didn't panic. He kept his wits about him, had good field vision. What O'Sullivan did is made one subtle move, Billy. He was covered. He started to drift back into the center of the field, away from the coverage. Leonard saw that, hit him with a bullet, and then he made a great individual effort of going the distance.
Leonard is 5 for 10 on the afternoon for 63 yards and a touchdown. And Frank, what did we say? Go for it, right?
That's why we're up here instead of on the sidelines.
Gutsy call by Art Christensen results in 7 points for Glenrock. And the momentum, such a big factor in high school football, is definitely on the side of Glenrock with 7 minutes, 44 seconds to play.
Still plenty of time, though, Billy, left in this ball game. Plenty of time.
Frank, why isn't the ball closer to the yard line?
Well, you have the option of either teeing it on or behind the line.
We think give him a couple extra inches. Anyway, here's Mahwah. On the carry is Christopher. He returns it to the 31-yard line. And that's where the Thunderbirds will take over. 1st and 10.
Well, you know, the collisions on the special teams, even on the high school level, are unbelievable. I did a little coverage for the Army-Boston College game in Dublin, Ireland, and that was a lot of fun. And I was standing on the sidelines next to a couple of Irish rugby players, and they didn't understand the need for all this equipment, excuse me, until they saw the special teams. They changed their minds in a hurry.
The wedge breaker. Nice job. 1st and 10 for the T-Birds. Caporelli, the give to Alex Bosang. He picks up about 4 yards before he's stopped. Libyan on the tackle, along with Gorman.
Little misdirection play that time. What you're trying to do what you're trying to create when you do something like that is get the linebackers leaning in one direction and then cracking back on them with a pulling guard or tackle. That time Creighton pulled all the way from the other side of the field, took out the linebacker. Decent yardage on 1st down.
Michinilli near side. Leonard on the tackle. Gorman smelled the play. Leonard finished it off. A loss of about 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 7, maybe 8.
I tell you, you got to love a quarterback that also plays linebacker for you on defense. And punts and can make hits like that. They told me he was a good athlete, and they were not wrong.
He's only a junior, so Glenrock will be able to see him play again next year.
Got pretty good size for a youngster. 6 foot, 170 pounds. That's good size for a high school quarterback. He's still got another year to grow, too.
6 minutes, 20 seconds left. Big 3rd down play for the T-Birds. Caporelli straight back. Gets the ball to Leinhardt, who drops it. I don't think he would have made the 1st down anyway because Oakes was there ready to pop him. 4th down and 7. Here's where you have to punt the ball, I think, Frank.
Well, it was well defensed that time by Oakes and Murphy, and they will have to kick. Again, see, plays like that are more effective when they're not run on 3rd down, Billy, because you need the element of surprise. The play action pass when it's 4th and 6 or 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7 loses some of its effectiveness.
Sullivan and O'Sullivan are deep for the Panthers.
Sounds like a law firm, Sullivan and O'Sullivan.
Either that or a tavern. Here's a nice boot by Michinelli, his best kick of the day by far. And the Panthers will let it roll. It goes down inside the 10-yard line. So the Glen Rock Panthers will take over at the 9-yard line, looking to eat some clock. 5 minutes, 55 seconds to play. It's put up or shut up time now for the Mahwah defense.
You got that exactly right, because that was a clutch punt by Michinelli. Now it's up to the Mahwah defense, #1 rated in Bergen County, to make it stick. They need the football back, and they need it back quickly.
Glen Rock, the best offense in the county. Mahwah, the best defense. This is the first game this year that Mahwah has allowed more than 7 points in a single game.
Well, you remember what Coach Caporelli told us earlier in the week. He really honestly believed he would need 3 scores to win this ball game.
Oaks carries the ball out across the 15. Pickup of 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3. Rourke on the tackle. He's played a fine game at outside linebacker.
Yeah, but that's a big gain on 1st down. 7 yards when you're in the shadow of your own goalposts really, really means a lot. The Mahwah defense, if they have anything left, they've got to use it right now.
I'm sure Art Christensen was very happy with Oaks' carry. Not so much to the yardage, but he had 2 arms on the ball. Gets it again. Good yardage. Rourke and Bosang on the tackle. 1st down for Glen Rock. 5 minutes to play and counting.
When we were playing, we used to call it gut check time, because it just comes down to head-to-head competition. You know that Glen Rock is not going to really do anything fancy. They can't risk a big sack, fumble, or interception, so they're going to basically do it on the ground. You know it's coming. It's your job to stop it.
There's an official's timeout. McGeechin has come up a little bit lame. He's hobbling.
Well, that's a kicker, too, in a close ball game. You need all your offensive weapons, and he's one of the biggest.
Here's a scenario for you. Mahwah scores. What do you do if you can't have a place kicker?
Well, you know there is overtime in New Jersey high school football, with both teams getting a chance from the other's 10-yard line. When you got a great kicker like that in a tie ball game, you know, odds are he's going to make it, and I mean that literally.
But if he can't kick and it's 17-16, then you go for 2.
Yeah, then the heat's on, and you're going to win it outright in regulation time.
There's a good look at McGeechin.
He looks taped up, too. He's got some kind of a tape on his knee there. And obviously he came in with an injury and a re-injury.
He's a senior, 5'9", 170 pounds. 1st and 10.
Got a history of knee problems, Billy, and I'm hopefully that's not what the situation is here.
That's O'Sullivan. He gets the ball out to about the 28-yard line. Wicker on the tackle. Creighton also in on the stop.
I'm impressed with the Glen Rock backs because they have quick feet. They have those happy feet. They make the one quick cut, they make you miss, and then they cut upfield in a hurry. You like to see that in a running back. You like to see Eric Dickerson, too, but how many of those can you find?
Also, they have good vision. They see the holes and they hit the holes.
Yeah,
a lot of guys just run full steam ahead into somebody or wherever. There's Oaks up the middle. Gets about 2 yards. Ball is at the 30-yard line. We'll bring up a crucial 3rd down play. 3 minutes, 53 seconds to play, 4th quarter.
And counting.
And counting. That's what Glen Rock wants to do. Glen Rock has 134 yards rushing today. Mahwah's not used to teams running up and down the field on them.
Flag 2 minutes.
Flag on the play.
Take it back. Take it back. Now he's short of the 1st down. We may want to see whether or not they want to take the penalty or not. But you had both of your men in the backfield in motion. I didn't mean to jump on you. I know that's your job, but
no, hey, you spotted it.
You know how excited I get, especially in a big ball game like this.
Well, the call definitely will go against Glen Rock.
You had Oaks and O'Sullivan moving at the same time. One was going in motion, and the other just started the play.
More importantly, even perhaps, stops the clock with 3 minutes, 29 seconds left. There's McGeechin, number 35, looking at his right leg.
Yeah, you're looking at that knee, which is heavily braced because he's had a history of knee problems. That could turn out to be a factor because with this break here, if Mahwah can make good on it, they'll get the ball back and probably in pretty good field position.
3rd down and 11. The ball just outside the 24-yard line. You pass to try to get the first down, or do you keep it on the ground and turn it over to your defense to win the ball game?
Well, the way the game has gone so far, I would look for Glen Rock to keep it on the ground to let your defense play. But then again, we called for them to punt on a play they scored on.
Yeah.
So don't listen to us, folks.
4th and 8. They scored a touchdown. Ball. Here's Leonard. Picks up about 4, maybe 5 yards. That'll set up a 4th down and 5.
Real heady play, though, to stay in bounds. He was near the sideline, and I was thinking to myself, the coach is saying, oh, no, Jim, don't go out of bounds on me. He says, okay, coach, I won't.
Nadell pushed him out of bounds. Leonard, the quarterback, he also punts.
Mahwah's shorter player.
Now they have their full complement of 11.
Warming up a different quarterback, too, who's a little bit of a better passer.
Looking for the block, doesn't get it. Caporale fields it, and he's taken down at the 46-yard line. So from their own 46, Mahwah will take over. Siegel on the tackle for the Panthers.
No, Willie, I'm sorry. I misdirected you a little bit. It looks like Ken Siegel is going to come in at quarterback for the Mahwah Thunderbirds. He's a pretty tall kid, about 150-pound senior. He's got a strong arm, so we may look for Mahwah to put up the football and do it right now.
Okay, reading the wrong roster here. And it will be. Ken Siegel is the new quarterback for Mahwah, number 7. Michinelli in motion. Siegel pitches to Caporale. Looks to throw. He throws it straight up in the air. Intercepted by O'Sullivan. Minute 59 to go. Glen Rock has the ball at midfield. 1st and 10. Oh, what a tough break for the Thunderbirds. And they're celebrating on the far sideline. The Panthers come up with a big play. Mike O'Sullivan.
Well, Caporale was falling before he even threw the football, and then he got hammered by Gorman, so the ball went straight up in the air, picked off by O'Sullivan. An unusual call that time. They brought in the backup quarterback to pitch back to the first-team quarterback. Really don't think that was going to surprise many people. You saw the Glen Rock safeties were playing 20 yards off the football. They knew that Mahwah had to score and score relatively quickly.
Mahwah has taken a timeout. Score is 17-10 in favor of the Panthers over the Thunderbirds. Mahwah's undefeated record at 10-0 looks to be in serious trouble.
Coach Caporale has been in this position before where he's brought undefeated teams into the playoffs and came away with losses. I know he was counting on this year to be possibly different because he thought this was one of his finest defensive clubs ever. And they played fairly well defensively. They've only given up 17 points to a team that we mentioned in the pregame at one stretch scored more than 40 points a game in 4 consecutive games, then dropped to 28 and then scored 40 again. So at this point, this Glen Rock team is a little bit like pinball wizards. They can really put it up on the board. So when you've only given up 17 points, you've got a shot to win. But then you've got to put the pressure on your offense to come up with a certain number of points. And I really appreciate the honesty that Coach Caporale had with me earlier in the week. And he said, Frank, I honestly believe that we need at least 3 scores to win. And I mean by 3 scores, I mean at least 2 touchdowns and a field goal, if not 3 touchdowns. So, so much for his clairvoyance. Unfortunately, it's on the short end of it right now.
Right now, Glen Rock will look to hold on to the ball, stay in bounds. There goes Leonard. He'll go down. Rourke on the tackle. Timeout taken by Mahwah. Minute 49 left to play in the ball game. It'll be 2nd down and 15. At the opening, Frank, we talked about a possible size disadvantage for Glen Rock. It hasn't been that way.
No, not at all, because they've executed, especially on the high school level. I tell you, Bill, everybody thinks and talks size. It's fun, and most of the big players are the ones who get your Division I scholarships, etc. But overall, in terms of team execution, certainly on the high school level and somewhat so on the college level, it's quickness that really counts. It's athletic ability that really counts. Kids on this level that have the great size sometimes tend not to be the best athletes, and it really hurts them. Eventually, through the process of scholarship and then drafting, what you do is you get big players who are also excellent athletes and are also very quick. But that's a gradual process that you see on bigger and bigger time programs.
Another thing I'd like to point out, it's been a very clean ball game. Sometimes in a championship game, a couple of kids get excited and you see cheap shots and personal foul penalties and whatnot, but the coaches have to be commended for having well-disciplined teams, and we've seen a very clean, hard-fought game.
Oh, an excellent ball game, and a lot of the credit to the coaches and to the kids. I thought Art Christensen just called a beautiful game today. Really solid ball game.
Second down for Glen Rock. Leonard protecting the football, picks up about 3 yards, and Mahwah takes their final time out of the half. Third down and 12.
Even a little play like that, those are the little things that you may not necessarily notice that a team is doing effectively. What Leonard is doing in a play like that, it's a relatively safe play because he doesn't have to run through the line of scrimmage with a lot of guys grabbing at the football, slapping at the football. And because he's running from sideline to sideline, the plays take a longer time to execute. You kill more of the clock.
Leonard, I noticed, was hobbling on that last run as he's talking to Art Christensen there in the red sweater. Hobbling a little bit, but there's no way you're going to bring him out of the ball game for a little muscle cramp or a bruise or something at this point.
Well, from what I understand, he's the type of kid that won't come out of the football game anyway.
Looks like Art Christensen could be coaching at Ohio State.
Yeah,
neck get up.
Yeah, with that
bright red,
gray.
Here's McGeach in there, sitting on the sidelines. He had to come out earlier with the leg problem.
Well, unless there is some kind of crazy turnover, a la the fumble, right now, his services will probably not be needed.
Well, Mahwah should get the ball back at least one more time because Glen Rock, I don't think, can run out the clock before they punt. They'll probably run this play here, and the clock will run down to around a minute. So Mahwah should get the ball back if they hold Glen Rock here. There goes Leonard to the sidelines. Oh, very poor play by Glen Rock and Jim Leonard. He should have fallen down and taken the third down play, just fall down and keep the clock moving.
He could have done the old safety slide that time. Dexter Richardson was bearing down on him and launched him into about the fourth row. But you're right, we were talking him up and saying what a heady player he is and making the good decisions by staying in bounds. That time he went out of bounds. It's like giving Mahwah an extra timeout. That was a poor play.
Exactly, a minute 36 to go and the clock is stopped. Leonard pulled a brain cramp there. He'll punt the ball away. Good snap, heavy pressure, and he gets it away. Ball is fielded by Christopher. He goes out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. And Christopher slow to get up. First and 10 at the 25-yard line. They have to go 75 yards in a minute, 28 seconds, no timeouts.
Well, I don't think we'll see anything in terms of an option pass here or play action. They've got to put up the football.
Caporelli is 2 for 6 with just 17 yards and 2 interceptions today.
He's not really effective as a passer. As we were talking to his dad, who also happens to be the coach. He's a good, tough kid, good athlete, and he's got a good, strong arm, but he's not learned to really be a quarterback yet. He's a better runner. He's really more suited to play tailback than quarterback.
Just look at the formation here. It's a running formation, not really a passing formation. Caporelli's past the Bosang. Incomplete. O'Sullivan on the coverage. Second down and 10, a minute 23 to go.
I'll tell you, as a defensive back, Billy, this was the most fun to play. The game is on the line. You know the other team has to pass. So you're in deep coverage. It's really, really going to be unlikely that anybody could run by you, even me. You're playing so deep. So what do you get to do? You get to either look for the interception or get to get a few last licks in before the end of the game. I love that.
You violent human being. Erickson wide to the left. Caporelli to throw. Heaves it deep. Ball is knocked down by Cinema. That ball was intended for Martell, the tight end. Third down and 10.
Good protection by his offensive line, but there were just no receivers open. As I said, it's very difficult. There's Leonard really limping, but there's no way he's coming out of this ball game. I'll tell you, it looks like right now he's got a good shot at bringing the state championship back to Glen Rock in an upset. Most newspapers and sports writers were predicting Mahwah to win going away. Not Bill Rogan, though. Not necessarily.
Well, I thought
that Glen Rock would have a good chance today.
I thought they would. I thought Glen Rock and Mahwah would play a very close ball game, and it has been that way. But in a state championship, you can't discount anybody. Caporelli to the near side. Gorman after him. Caporelli tucks it down. Gets bumped out of bounds by O'Sullivan. I believe he's got the first down. Big play by Caporelli, keeping the drive alive. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go. The ball is at the 36-yard line.
Well, the crowd finally realized what a really big play that was by Caporelli. Needed to get the first down. He got that, and he got out of bounds. So they've got another set of downs and still have a minute plus with which to work with. That's a gutsy, heady play. And Caporelli only a junior. We talked about Leonard. Well, Caporelli's got another year of eligibility left.
Glen Rock, 3 safeties, very deep. Right now, if you get beat, you don't want to get beat deep. Caporelli to throw. Gorman after him. Look out. Escapes one man. There he goes. He gets knocked out of bounds after pickup of about 6 yards. Second down and 4. 1 minute, 2 seconds left. They're going to have to hit a big pass play. Still a lot of ways to go.
You know, we talked up the Mahwah defense, and rightly so, coming into the game. And I said, we talked earlier in the week, Billy, and you said, hey, you know, Glen Rock defensively looks pretty credible. Well, how about this for credibility? They held Mahwah to 104 yards in total offense so far with just about a minute left to play in the ball game.
17-10, Glen Rock leads. Mahwah with the ball. New Jersey State Championship, Group 2 on the line. Swing out to Bosang, breaks one tackle, then Oaks stops Oaks and Murphy on the tackle. O'Sullivan had him by the feet. Third down and short, 51 seconds left. The officials have stopped the clock for measurement.
That's right, it's the only thing that saved him because Bosang could not get out of bounds. It's the only problem with a play like that. Nice play that time by O'Sullivan to cut off Bosang, not allow him to the sideline.
They're about 3 inches short. There's the ball right there. Third down and very short, 51 seconds left. This would be a good time for a sideline pattern just to pick up the first down and get out of bounds. Actually, we're in 2-down territory. Clock is moving. Caporelli. Incomplete pass intended for Bosang. Fourth down and inches. 39 seconds to play.
This is it now, Willie. Under other circumstances, you'd think they might want to run the football, but getting the first down is only one small player. One small part of it, excuse me.
Right now, do you go for just the first down, or do you look deep?
No, I think you got to look. I think you have to look deep because right now you have no more timeouts left. Even if you get the first down here, it's only going to be limited in terms of effectiveness for you.
This could be Mahwah's season right here. Caporelli rolls out, trying to get the first down and out of bounds at the same time.
I don't know if he made it, Billy. I'll tell you honest truth, depends on the spot. He looked like he may have stepped just a hair early.
I think he's got it. It is a first down. 4 seconds tick off the clock, 35 seconds to go. Ball at the 48-yard line.
Good.
Not over yet.
Good call. That was a good call. When you said about running the football and getting the first down, most people think of 4th and inches as just moving the ball up the middle. That time, Coach Caporelli calls for an end sweep, gets the first down, and gets out of bounds. That was a real gutsy call and a well-executed play by Tommy Caporelli, the quarterback.
Caporelli to throw. Look for Michinelli. He's got it. Good tackle on the play. Very fine tackle that time by Hanley. Or check that, by Brody. Clock is moving, 15 seconds to play. There's movement on the offensive line, as pointed out by Mark Murphy. 13 seconds left. He's got a legal motion on the Thunderbirds.
You can put the ball up twice with 13 seconds left to go, provided that it's not caught in the middle of the field and the guy is tackled immediately. And I don't think that Caparelli's arm is quite strong enough to get it from here into the end zone.
3 players for Glenrock are 35 yards off the line of scrimmage. Caparelli in trouble. Throws it deep. Well, it's intercepted by Stewart. And the clock has run out. That's the ball game. It's all over. Glenrock, New Jersey State Group 2 champions. Final score, the Glenrock Panthers 17, the Mahwah Thunderbirds 10. Jubilation and elation on the far side there for the Glenrock Panthers. Disappointment and frustration for the Mahwah Thunderbirds.
Well, you know, Willie, it's one of those situations where it seems somehow too bad that somebody had to lose. 2 good, excellent football teams, well-coached teams, friends and foes, and yet, you know, the nature of the game is that somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. But, you know, even in defeat, it's not the kind of game you want to hang your head on, believe me.
Glenrock finishes the season 10-1. Mahwah suffers their first loss of the season. They fall to 10-1, and both teams getting a fine hand from the large audience here at Mahwah High School. I'm Bill Rogan along with Frank Lebono, and for the entire TKR sports staff, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.